Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 11 of Disc Golf Examiner. This is your weekly disc golf lifestyle podcast. I'm here tonight with Brian. How's it going, Brian?
Oh, fantastic, Jeff. How's it going for you?
It's going really well. I know you're just working on a new project. What do we have? What can we expect this week?
Well, Cody Wingett and I were out on the course and we did an in the bag for him. So if you like the previous one that we did with him or the one that we did with Vinny, look forward to that. Cody Wingett's a local pro that's done some videos with us before. He is a trilogy thrower, so he'll throw dynamic discs, west side discs, and latitude 64 discs. And of those brands, definitely look forward to that. And Cody has a dog that follows him around too, so we have a little video with his dog Callie as well. So look forward to that. Should be a very, very interesting video. And we have some other stuff coming up. I'm not at liberty to talk about them right now, but I do think everybody's going to enjoy them. Besides that, today actually I was able to get out and do a putting league. It was just basically a test day to see how they were going to run the league. And it was fantastic. We had over 30 people show up. There were basically different putting games. They teamed you up with somebody and you got to go out there and play as a team. And it was fun. It was a very innovative, new way of, getting your disc golf in the cold weather, because it's so great to be able to be indoors and grab a beer, grab, a pizza or whatever food that they have there at the bar and just, go do some putts. It was fantastic. Had a great time. Everybody had a great time. Look forward to some videos and photos from that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a great time. And one of the things when you and I talk about doing this podcast and covering the events is just that's the reward in itself. And I think what we're going to hear today, we have an interview with J Gary Dropcho from Pittsburgh. And he is responsible for so many of the courses, so much of the maintenance, so many of the things that we find challenging about each of the courses: Deer Lakes, Moraine, Slippery Rock. And, this story goes to anybody in any town, anywhere. If you go out and play disc golf at your local course, that course exists because of what J Gary does and people like J Gary and the maintenance and the passion. And one of the things we really took from this is it's just as important to play those courses and enjoy them as it is to contribute and maintain them, because that's really what creates a successful disc golf scene. And to hear the history of the Pittsburgh courses and to hear what goes into making them and, what went into bringing Worlds in 2015 to Pittsburgh, it's just an amazing story and everything behind it. And really the center of a lot of that. And of course, he has a team and other people are contributing, but J Gary really is almost the keystone of Pittsburgh disc golf.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's been a part of the scene since the very beginning. And, he's been such a tremendous supporter of the sport. He's, he has a group of great guys that work with him now. And, J Gary, if you're listening, thank you so much for what you do for the Pittsburgh disc golf sport.
And let's just get right into it. Let's let everybody hear how much fun we had with this interview. It was just a great time, a great conversation, about 40 minutes.
So let's go right into it.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Are you ready? Hi, everyone, and welcome to the interview. I'm here with Jeff and J Gary Dropcho. J Gary is the superintendent for the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Society. He maintains a lot of the local courses, all the local courses in the Pittsburgh area. And J Gary, how are you doing today?
Great, Brian. I'm doing really well.
And, J Gary, we're so excited. We've been talking about having you on since the beginning here. So what we like to do whenever we talk to people is we like to find out how they got into disc golf first thing. So my first question for you is when did you start playing disc golf and what got you into it?
Yeah, I probably, like a lot of people, I started playing disc golf just throwing a flying disc around, and it was in Indiana, PA. I was probably about 12 years old, and we got this flying saucer. I don't know, we even know where it came from. We got a couple of them, and they were a CPI saucer tosser, I think. And me and my brother Ron and my brother Michael, we started, flipping this thing around in the yard. And then I think, like most people that mess around with a flying disc, we started making up games with it, and we just played a game of golf basically around the backyard and hit, aiming for that tree or post on the deck or whatever it was. And that's probably that was my first time playing disc golf. And I think, like a lot of other people, just thought we were making it up, we're inventing the game, but really we were doing something that people all over the world were doing when they got their hands on a flying disc. I think that was probably like in I don't know, might have been 1970, something like that. And then the first time I really, was played seriously, I started, in 1980, I made a disc golf course in Indiana, Pennsylvania, in Mack Park. And through the university where I was going to school at Indiana University, PA, I had this disc golf tournament and just basically invited friends and publicized it. And very few people came out. There might have been about 10 or 11 people that played, but I put a lot of time into actually creating this temporary course. And sometimes when I go back home to Indiana, I drive past Mack Park and look longingly at what could have been, but isn't. But in my mind or in my memories, it was pretty cool. And then I played college ultimate in college for IUP, really before I started playing disc golf. And it wasn't until about 1984 when I tore my ACL playing ultimate that I started playing disc golf a lot more seriously, and went to the American Flying Disc Open in Rochester, New York, tournament that Jim Palmieri was putting on. It had been a few years since at first famous historic tournament where Dan Roddick won the new car for winning the disc golf tournament. But we were playing it on some ground baskets, and there were a couple of saucer holes there. I think there was one Mach 1 basket as well, and that was pretty cool. I saw a lot of legends of the game at that point. Stork was there, John Kirkland, Jim Palmieri, and a lot of other Frisbee gods, I guess. And that was probably the first time I played in a tournament.
Yeah, seeing pros come in from all over the world is really an amazing thing. I think it kind of revitalizes everybody's interest. It really drags people into the sport whenever they see these guys that can throw like the pros throw. I think that's how a lot of people in the area have sort of come into it now, where we had Worlds in 2015 that you were a part of. You helped run, I believe. Is that correct?
I did. I was the tournament co-director with Chaz Ford. And then there was a team of people that came together in Pittsburgh and actually drew from West Virginia and New York and Maryland. We had players or staff come in from, really a 4-state region, volunteering a week of their time to staff the event. But we planned that event was probably about 20 years in the making. In terms of putting everything together, the infrastructure, the courses, the organization, the expertise at running events. It was a long time coming, and I guess I'm interested to know. I talking to Jeff just for a couple of minutes before we started here about his disc golf story. Do you think that the Pro Worlds here in 2015 jump-started disc golf in the area?
Oh yeah, I do, absolutely. I've had a lot more interest from friends. I've been sharing videos, and I've been getting more people to the course. One of the things Brian and I love to do is grow the sport and sharing the story. We even started recording these sessions now, where we're taking out wrestlers and comedians. I'm taking out some of my old skateboard friends. I have a friend who does CrossFit now. He's going to come over and work in some CrossFit tips with us, and some training tips, like how to prepare and how to stretch and how to be, proper physically. to play the game. So locally, I've had a interest where I never had it before with friends and family. I even took my mom out a few weeks ago. My mom and I played disc golf for the first time, and it was just great. The interest locally has really sparked, at least for me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that with Worlds being here in 2015, that was the first time that I had been to a major tournament like that, and to cover it, doing photos and everything for Disc Golf Examiner was like this amazing experience to meet all these pros from all around the world, and you know, to see them in person and see how far they're throwing. You can see it on video, but until you see it in person on a course that you have personally played, and to see, you know, Paul McBeth crush, I believe it was hole 5 at Moraine, and I was so like blown away.
Hole 6, probably, when he threw it up over the trees.
Sure. Yeah, no, it was hole 6. You're right. Yeah, and I was just blown away by it. It was fantastic. It really did spark my interest. I know I've talked to several people. We were talking to Pat Graziani last week, and he was telling me how much it sparked his interest to see those pros come in. J Gary, these were courses that you created, right? You helped create and design these courses that they played on. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That was very satisfying for some of those players to get them here for the first time and play here. And Ken Klima was a player that we had invited to come to the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Open many years, and he just never could or did. And even the NT event that we did here in 2011, and we thought that would attract Ken, and he wasn't the only one. There was a lot of touring players that just never made it to Pittsburgh. So, and they weren't all here in 2015 for Worlds, but most of them were. And yeah, seeing them play the course, you know, for me, it was sometimes seeing them struggle with the course a couple on more rare occasions. You know, the top players were just shredding par on all the courses, and wasn't unexpected. But what was you know, what was a little gratifying was time to see players take a bogey and, you know, make a mistake and kind of not play the hole correctly, and that was gratifying to see that. Okay, so yeah, the design worked in some ways.
So it's almost like you're rooting against them, almost.
Well, yeah, kind of. Not exactly. I mean, I love watching disc golf, and I'm amazed by, you know, the skill and the power and the talent. But it you know, it's kind of humanizing to see somebody make a mistake, or, you know, but whether it's a mental or a physical one, and, you know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I do that too.
Well, you know what I thought was amazing was seeing Paul McBeth play, and maybe he had a bad roll away or something, but able to capitalize it still through rough or whatever the case is. It was really inspiring to me to see perhaps a shot that didn't go too well, but then the upshot that made up for it.
Yeah, they can recover. They're, you know, that's part of the mental game, I guess, is not to get down when things don't go well. That's for new players. Sometimes that's a really hard thing, especially when they, you know, first times playing in a tournament. People get, you know, pressurized and, you know, get down on themselves because they're not doing it like they've done it many times before, and suddenly they can't make the shot or don't make the shot, and things fall apart. But yeah, the top players are very steady. You know, they know golf is not a game of perfect. They know that they can, you know, recover from mistakes if they just kind of keep it together and focus on the shot they're about to make. Yeah, you got to see that at Worlds quite a bit.
Now, you were mentioning that you designed the course in Indiana. And my question is, you've designed many courses since then. Whenever you go in, try to decide where a course could be built, what do you look for in a park, in a course? Are you looking for anything in specific, or is that something that, like, you just kind of take what you can get?
Well, with a lot of public facilities like parks, you take what you can get, and you do what the park wants you to do. They're the client. They're the boss. They're telling the course designer what they want in a facility. And so I try to, give them what they want, but sometimes they don't know what's possible either. So I take a lot of pride and pleasure in, creating something that they didn't even imagine, or finding a way to utilize their land in a way that they, hadn't thought about before. For me, that's kind of that's a real reason why I enjoyed designing courses, is finding interesting landing areas, interesting and challenging green complexes, or where the baskets are located, being able to position tee pads to challenge players or reward good shots, or give players a kind of a breathtaking moment where they're looking at the land in a really powerful way. So yeah, with public parks, it's you take what you can get. I've done some courses like at Seven Springs, for example, at Camp Conaquee, more private places where it's the same thing. You got to work with what's there, but in some ways it might be a little different because that owner of that land, it's not a public place. And I hope to do more things for for private facilities, but I'm also looking forward to coming year in 2017, and hopeful that it might be, something like 3 or 4 new courses happening. I'm working on some projects right now. I wish I could say more about where they are or what they are, but they're just not far enough along in the, in the agreement phase to say that it's going to happen yet. But I'm hopeful, and I think it could be really, well, it will be really good for disc golf in Pittsburgh, or in the Western Pennsylvania area. Because like you guys, like Jeff said, the, course happens nearby, and suddenly there are new golfers. Who are these people? I used to know every disc golfer in the area, but I don't anymore. I know very few comparatively how many are out there playing. And that's a really, that's a cool thing.
I've spoken a lot about my history with skateboarding, and for about 10 years I did skateboard park design, where I would design skate parks, and I still have that design eye where I'll, drive past something or see space that could be utilized in different ways. Are you ever just driving a back road and you see like the perfect piece of land, and you're like, this is a place that I would love to have throw some discs here?
All the time.
All the time. It never stops, does it?
It's kind of a blessing and a curse. I think I can't turn it off. Like, anytime we go anywhere, I'm thinking that. We recently took a trip to Italy, and I was hoping to play a disc golf course in Italy. There are very few. I could only find like 3 that were listed on the course directory. And unfortunately they weren't anywhere near where where we're going to be. But as we were traveling around, especially in some of the, rural areas in Tuscany, and we were in Sicily too, I was thinking, wow, that would be great. Look at that. Wow. The wind, it was just like, yeah, I can't stop.
Yeah. You can't turn it off, and it's hard to explain to somebody, but you just see it everywhere once you go down that path.
Well, for me, the curse as well is that I have a very difficult time playing disc golf courses, even in tournament situations, without being able to turn that off. So I'm always critiquing. I'm thinking, no, that was a dumb place to put the tee pad. It should have been right here. Or, boy, if they should have just moved the basket that way 10, 20 feet and down over that little knob, and that would have been so cool. And then, and just like that, I take a bogey because I'm thinking about that. It's like I said, it's a blessing and a curse. It's what I love doing. And I'm really fortunate, feel really thankful to be able to do it. Not just like in Indiana, as Brian was pointing out, at IUP, that was my alma mater in my hometown, and working on putting that course in at the College Lodge with my brother Michael. that was really cool because it was a place where we learned to ski, and and then now getting to play disc golf there is great, and it's really awesome to hear other people say, yeah, I played that course, and most of the time they don't know that I designed the course or worked on it, and they said, yeah, have you ever played that course in Moraine? It's so cool. Or today I was at the gym and there was a new trainer. He found out I played disc golf. He said, oh man, you should play that disc golf course, or that Nob Hill disc golf course. That's a lot of fun. It's right nearby here. It's really cool, and they got trees and all this. I didn't just shake my head, and the head
Oh, you
trainer,
mean the one I designed? Yeah.
Yeah, the head trainer said to the new guy, said, well, tell Tom what you do, J Gary. What do you tell him what you do? So I had to tell him that I designed it and that I play there all the time, and so that's cool. I like that there are many people that I don't know play disc golf, and I feel really fortunate to have been part of that.
How many courses have you been a part of, putting together or fully designing from start to finish?
I've done 12 courses in Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Most of those have been either like the lead designer or the sole designer. The Moraine State Park course was sort of a collaboration with 5 other people in our club, but I took the lead on that. I kind of and it's not just the design part, but the guess that I've done most of the work on. It's been the organizing to get the design in. That's, everybody's loves to design a course, and but there's so much work that goes into before you can even get to do it, especially with public entities like parks departments and municipalities. They've got their own priorities. They've got their own process for approving things. And, it takes a lot of time and skill, I think, to negotiate those, to find out what their culture is, who the decision makers are, what they need to know in order to get to yes. I think the most learning I've done as far as disc golf course design was at Slippery Rock University. That was like a 6-year project from when we first proposed it to when it was finished. And it really was just finished in 2015, right before Worlds happened. But that required not just me and Slippery Rock University, but there was the Disc Golf Foundation was involved with that. It went as high as the Attorney General's office in the state of Pennsylvania to approve the agreement to get that course in, and it was just mind-boggling. It just kept escalating, and there were turns and twists and roadblocks, and I guess that some of the people I work with at Slippery Rock said after it was all over, said, I didn't ever think this was going to happen. I can't believe it actually did. I didn't give up on it, but it was sure frustrating at times. But worth it, it really was.
Do you ever look back and see a perfect hole as anyone you've ever designed? You just can't believe the way the terrain and the hole and the tee pad and how it all fit together? Like this was the one.
You're asking me to pick like a favorite hole of all time that I've worked on.
Well, I'm sure you have several, but there's always one that you really kind of favorite.
Well, there's usually 1 or 2 on each course, that like you think, okay, well, this one's got to be, and then everything else has got to work around this. And sometimes it's like a puzzle, so like to make it all fit together. And sometimes it means like reimagining everything you thought it was going to be in order to make it all work, reversing the direction of holes sometimes, changing a hole from a really long par 5 to maybe a par 4 and another par 3, or there's just a lot of things that sometimes surprise you the way they work out. I don't know. I really like I like hole 16 at Seven Springs. It's called Goosebumps. That's the name of the slope that it's on. It's like 850 feet straight downhill. It's about 190 feet of elevation loss, and you can drive the green with a putter. but if it's offline, it just goes forever, and it goes for about 10,000 feet sometimes, and you can lose a disc pretty easily there. But that's I like that the way that worked out was really cool. 18 at IUP at the College Lodge was was definitely keeper. Hole 12 at Slippery Rock. Just I love downhill shots. I don't know who doesn't, but so I tried to get downhill shots. You always got to get uphill somehow on courses. So I try to figure out ways to trick the players into not thinking they're actually climbing the hill, so you can get them to the downhill shots. So I don't know. Those are a couple of my favorites. There's a lot more. Hole 9 at Nob Hill. That was sort of the seminal hole for that course, and getting approval for that course too. Those are some of the good ones. There's a lot of other ones too. There's some bad ones, and I admit that I've really made some dumb errors on holes. And one of the things that's cool is my role as the course superintendent for PFDS is I've had the chance to correct some of those mistakes, those dumb things that I did before I knew what we were doing. And so we've been tweaking holes and tweaking courses as we go too. There was some redesign done at the College Lodge this year. We've tweaked some stuff at Nob Hill. We did that before Worlds. So we get, sometimes we get the chance to fix it too. It's not, I also know that a course could be gone in a day. Sometimes, we're pretty lucky. We've had really good partners in the area, and they like disc golf, and they trust us to do good things with their facilities. So we've been lucky in that way too.
All that work on those courses, that doesn't come easy. And with Thanksgiving coming up right now, what are some of the things that you're thankful for that the Pittsburgh community has provided?
Yeah, hey, thanks. I'm thankful for a lot of stuff. Thanksgiving makes me thankful for PFDS, for the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Society, for all the the people that have stepped up to be leaders in that club since 1988. It's been a democratically run organization, and kind of encouraging to see more people continuing to step up and take those roles, and people coming out and volunteering, not just for tournaments, but sweating it out, digging holes, and doing the stuff that most disc golfers never even know anybody does. They just sort of show up and say, "Oh yeah, here we go. It's a disc golf course. Let's play." And they don't even consider that it was put in by volunteers in many ways. Yeah, I'm thankful for the Disc Golf Foundation. That's a 501c3 that I'm on the board of. That it's made a lot of local projects and projects around the country possible. Granted matching baskets grants at 23 different colleges around the country to get disc golf courses started there. Granted about $49,000, almost $50,000 to the Steady Ed Museum down in Georgia and their traveling exhibit. Thousands of dollars to the Disc Golf Hall of Fame. $78,000 to the International Disc Golf Center, and that's been a really good thing. I've been honored to serve on that, and I'm thankful to my wife Jan too, who's always encourages me and supports my endeavors, whether it's playing disc golf or promoting events, putting on events, or designing courses. I think she knows I'm a lot more fun to be around if I get to play disc golf. If I get I don't know. She says I'm a bear if I don't get to play or whatever. So she always just says, "Yeah, just go, get out of here, go." So thanks, Jan.
We have a lot of new listeners, a lot of new players listening to the podcast. And what's one of the best ways for somebody to get involved locally, or not even just in Pittsburgh, but maybe they're in Arizona or Portland? How can somebody get started with helping out, just volunteering their time for their local scene?
They just have to be forward about it. Just sort of, find out who the movers are in their area, what the club is, who's in the club, where the club meets, go to leagues and say, "Hey, this is cool. I like disc golf. Can I help?" And just, volunteer, just put themselves out and say, "What do you need done? I'm willing to I can do these things. I've got these skills." Even if it's just, coming out and cutting and hauling brush, or maybe they've got skills in promoting or in social media. Perhaps they've got contacts in government that could be useful in getting a new course started, raising money. That's something that I always assume people know how to do or can learn how to do, but I found that some people just don't like asking for money. But you got to have money to put courses in, and somebody's got to raise it. So if that's a skill that they have, if somebody has, they should volunteer it to their local club.
Yeah, those are things you don't even think of that really go into supporting your scene. Besides volunteering time, there's other ways to help out. And you're suggesting just be vocal and see where your talents fit in.
Yeah, for sure.
Beyond creating courses, as the course superintendent, you have to do a lot of changes to courses. You have to adapt courses. You fix courses up to make them more of a challenge in some cases. Have you made any of these changes recently, and if so, where?
Yes, we have. And one of the things that I see my role in doing is not to make all those changes, not to be the person that does all those things, but we have a whole team of course promoters, and there are at least 2 course promoters at each of our local courses. And it's really, I'm enthused because more and more those are the people who are driving the improvements and the maintenance. So, for example, at Deer Lakes, Eric Nichols and BJ Ryer are the current course promoters there. They just came on this year. Been other people in the past years that have done a great job, but Eric and BJ they're enthusiastic and they're energetic. And so they said, what do we do? Come on, let's do something. So I said, well, I'm really wanting to move the A pin on hole 13. And then, within a month, Eric had already said, well, we could put it right here. And then I'm going to make this big wall of brush, and it'll be a great obstacle, and it'll really improve the hole. And BJ said, hey, I want to change the A pin on hole 8 at Deer Lakes. And so, we built this new little pedestal for the A pin there. And so it's the course promoters really that are kind of on the ground and doing all that. They're the ones that are interfacing with the parks partners, whether it's municipal park or a county or a state park. So I guess I see my job as helping those course promoters, be the engine at that course. And it's great not being the person that's always doing that stuff. Now having this cadre of promoters who see the things that need to be done, are willing to do it, and wanting to keep moving it ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And so whenever you do coursework, how many people does it take to perform a task like what Eric and BJ were talking about?
Well, I think the day we actually moved that anchor, it was a couple weekends ago. Yeah, I think there were 8 people out there that day.
Wow, so it's people do need to help out and to do things like that.
And those people, I just showed up, and BJ and Eric brought all the other people out, which is again so refreshing for me, because I know everybody is sick of getting texts and Facebook messages from J Gary saying, can you help out at such and such a course on this day? We need you to come out. I know everybody's tired of hearing me asking them to come out and help. So, maybe if they're hearing it from, Eric or BJ or Chris Lahendro or Sid Olcott or Nordheimer or, any of the other course promoters, then maybe they'll respond in a different way. Hopefully. I think they will.
Beyond the course design, you're also a player. You've played in a lot of the tournaments that we have covered this past year. I guess my big question is, for whenever you play, what are your go-to discs? What do you use the most?
Well, my putter. That's the disc you throw the most. I'm currently putting with soft challengers, and I just like I like a softer feeling putter. And I putted with magnets, and AVRs as well too. But I just kind of prefer softer plastic. So those are the discs that I throw more often than anything else. But I have a mixed bag of Discraft and Innova discs. Somebody asked me the other day, "What's the oldest disc you got in your bag?" And I think it pulled out a 1994 DX Rock. That's probably the oldest disc in my bag. But I have I've got new Champion and G Star and Star plastic. I got Z plastic and Big Z, and I got the Z Flex, and so I've got new plastic too, and I throw Turns and Firebirds and Destroyers. Those are my main drivers. Rocks, and I got a Buzz OS I like. Throw an Impact. That's a Discraft, kind of just a stable mid-range disc. Yeah, so I usually have about 13, 14 discs in my bag.
Now the winter's coming up, and it gets harder, not really harder, but it makes it more of a challenge to be out there throwing discs. Do you rely on anything in the wintertime to help you through? Do you play during the winter?
Yeah, I play as much as I can. Usually in the weekend, once a weekend, but maybe I'll get to play more often during the week as well. But I have to give a shout out to Justin Shaw, who's the performance director at Pure Edge Performance. It's where I train, and I kind of got serious about fitness last winter, and it made a difference for me this year. I think I had my best competitive year in a long time. I won, I don't know, 3 or 4 tournaments, and as a grandmaster and as a master, and yeah, that's made a big difference. So I'm continuing to go to the gym 2-3 times a week. It's harder to do. Like in the summertime, I ride a bicycle, and I love to do that, not just for the fitness aspect of it, but it's just so good to get out and get to see things in a different way on a bike than I can on a car. I've got a Power Snap trainer that I work with in the house. I've got a basket in the basement that I putt at. I got some baskets in the backyard that I putt on. So I try to keep playing. It's so different though. You're playing with 3 layers and boots and gloves and hats. It's a different kind of thing. But so I don't get too upset about not being able to play very well or throw it very far. I just try to enjoy being out, and really for me that's how I play all the time now. I mean, I'm competitive. I want to do well, and I get upset for a few seconds when I don't do well, but I realize how lucky I am, that I can play, that I'm physically able to play, and that I'm get to go out and play with some friends and people that I like hanging out with. That I just feel really fortunate for that.
What can we look out for from you in 2017, or what kind of goals do you have that you'd like to see accomplished next year?
Well, I'd like to. I played 12 events this year, so I'd like to play as many as I did this year, or maybe more. So after Worlds was done, really got kind of opened up a lot of things for me time-wise. So I got to travel a little bit, hoping to go to California to play in the Masters Cup this year. Haven't been to Santa Cruz yet to play, so I want to go there. And I think I'm going to play in the Masters World Championship, which is, as you may know, the PDGA has split their World Championships this year, the Pro World Championships. The Open Men and Open Women are going to play only. Their World Championship will be just an Open World Championships, and that's going to be in Georgia at the IBGC, I think in June. But the age protected divisions, the master age, grandmasters, senior grandmasters, etc., both men and women, we're going to have our own world championship. It's going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm hoping to play in that. I always just say I hope I can finish. And that's my goal. I just want to finish, and so far I always have. And I always want to do well. I want to cash, and I do plan. You asked about goals. I want to win a major tournament again, and I want to be competitive in in high level competition. So I guess I gotta be more I got to practice more. I know that.
You mentioned there was some courses in the works that you couldn't talk about, but is there any things we can expect in the coming year?
Oh, you're cagey, Jeff. that was a sly question. Yeah, I wish I could say more. I want to say more. I just can't yet. But I can tell you this: the Allegheny County has been a great partner. When we upgraded the course, all 4 courses for Pro Worlds, Deer Lakes got new baskets. And the county bought those baskets. And I convinced them to upgrade the baskets, because then they would have a set of baskets sitting in their barn ready to put in another county park. And so we've been talking about that for quite some time. And I know it's going to happen. I just don't know when, and I'm not sure yet where. But I think we can expect another course, and hopefully it'll be, the same caliber as Deer Lakes in another Allegheny County park course.
Yeah, Allegheny has some great public parks, so no matter where it goes, they have some great land, some great terrain, good things coming from that, especially from that partnership.
Yeah, they've been great, and a lot of our other park partners have been awesome too, and we're hoping that they like disc golf so much they'll want to do more of it. So yeah, that's what we're working on.
Is there anything you want to leave us with tonight, or any words for anybody out there listening?
You got to putt. You got to make putts. If you're going to practice anything, practice putting. I know it's like people want to, go out and play. Oh yeah, we're out the course. Let's go play. Let's play another round. Let's play another round. But it always pays off for me. Is like spending an hour just putting. I remember stuff that I forgot about, why I was making putts before and not making them now. Oh yeah, that's why. So do that and enjoy it. Don't get upset about what just happened. You got to forgive yourself for the bad shots, and remember that the only shot that matters is the one you're about to make, not the one you just made, not the one that you have to make when you get to the tee pad on hole 15 at Deer Lakes. Don't think ahead about that. Just think about the shot you got in front of you right now, and be thankful you can play this game.
Yeah, and talk about putting. Actually, doesn't the putting league start this Sunday, right?
Hey, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, it does. The Rivertown Brewing Company and Export registration starts at 1:30, and putting begins at 2:30. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about it. And I guess I'm going to see you out there too, because I know it's pretty close to home.
Yeah, I'm psyched because, I usually have to travel 45 minutes to get to a course. So to travel 25 minutes to get to this putting league, I'm going to be there.
Great. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we just want to say thank you, J Gary, for joining us today. And thank you so much for everything that you do on our local courses. We always see you out there doing something. So just want to say personally, thank you for helping out.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thanks so much. And we'll put you back to us in the studio.
We're back from that interview with J Gary. That was what you heard there was me actually meeting J Gary. That was the first time I've ever spoken with him, and to hear his stories about design and course building and process and your local club and bringing worlds to Pittsburgh, I was just sitting there like a kid on Christmas. It was just amazing to hear those stories.
Yeah, I find it so interesting how humble he is after everything that he's done over the years, how much he just enjoys being out there and meeting people, and he's a very humble, very friendly guy. So if you ever see J Gary Dropcho, definitely say hello. Tell him, hey, thank you so much for what you do, and we really appreciate it. So definitely, if you ever have a chance, he has some great stories. I'm sure he'll chat you up like anybody else.
And find the J Gary in your town. Find the local club in your town and get involved. Support it. Make it better. One of the things.
It's definitely not a one-person job, guys. That's something we can all help out in different ways. And like J Gary said, it may be organizing. It may be, blowing leaves across the fairway. Whatever you can do to help out, it always helps disc golf for you to just put that time in and help at your local course, help with your local superintendent.
Sounds good. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. And once again, we always ask if you are enjoying this content, please stop by iTunes, find Disc Golf Examiner, rate, review, subscribe. We would love to hear how you're enjoying the content, what you think of it, and any feedback you can give us would be amazing.
I know that's what I look for every day, is like, what's the next comment? What's going on? I love it whenever people comment on our videos, whenever they leave reviews for us on iTunes. It really gets me pumped to do this every week. I don't know about you, Jeff.
No, I love it. I mean, that's the reason why we're doing it. And just like I said at the beginning of the podcast, just the fact that each time we do this, I say it's my favorite. It's just the passion and just enjoying what we're doing. And I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
All right. You want to send this one home?
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us here on Disc Golf Examiner. Remember to go out there and bang some chains. We'll see you next week.